you know, I go to the barber. He gave me a little bit of a hard time, but at least he didn't mess up my haircut. Two, I didn't finish my video obviously last time, so I had to make a part 2 to finish what I was saying, especially about women, about martial arts. Yeah, and 3, this Runa girl from Tinder, you know, she popped up again. And many of you know I've brought up that she's popped up like 4 or 5 times. Like, I think like what, 6 or 7, 8 times now, you know. How many of you are stupid enough to think that's a coincidence? And I have brand new pictures to prove it. For those of you who are interested, you know, message me and I'll show you them. You know, I'm not going to do that with this video. I just want to upload it and get it done with. It's Father's Day, so, you know, I guess, you know, you can consider my Father's Day present is I'm going to stop making videos. You know, so it's better to do it today than yesterday. But I did upload yesterday's video today. That's why I have an afro in that picture and I don't in that video, and I don't have one in this one. So yeah, you know, it's very interesting how I look like a mess with an afro. I don't take care of myself. Now I look like fucking a model when I cut my fucking hair. You know, very interesting. And for those of you who are wondering, in my Tinder profiles, I look like I do right now, except for with nice clothes on, nice shirts, some of the shirts you've seen in the other videos, and then one hoodie where it's a nice picture. That being said, Ramadan. Some of you are going to wonder, well, why aren't you fasting if you're a Muslim? Because most people don't understand the intricacies, the details, the specifics of Ramadan. Well, if you have a severe illness, that you are exempt from fasting. Right now, my ear is still bothering me after having gone to the ear doctor a couple months ago, whenever it was. It's in my video sometime. I paid like $100 out of pocket because my insurance, I didn't have the insurance card, even though I have insurance, so I had to pay out of pocket. They gave me a discount there, though. They were nice enough to do that. I gotta give them that credit. You know, it's pretty sad, right? That they keep at it with their frequency weapons. So now I have more ear problems. You know, very, very stupid. You know, those of you might say, well, you yell or you listen to music loud. I mean, look how many people actually have ear problems, you know, consistently after they started using these weapons against me, you know, during a period of time. What are the odds that during a period of time when they start experimenting on you with frequency weapons, they start attacking you, that, you know, it's going to be due to yelling or due to playing loud music? It's nearly impossible, you know, especially after having been to the doctor already. I'm not saying he's a bad doctor. I'm saying the people who are doing this are bad people. So what I've been experiencing right now, I'd compare to, you know, say you're the people who are voting for the other team when the Warriors won, right? And so let's say, you know, let's just say it's the Super Bowl and they got, the other team just got destroyed, you know. We'll say fucking, I don't know, you know, 50-0, just throwing a number out there, okay? Just completely destroyed. And so there's nothing they can say. So how do they react? How does the other team act? That's how the gang stalkers and society has been treating me, you know. And also, I'd like to say about my martial art challenge, I don't mean any disrespect to anyone who's not my enemies. Those of you who think that in your gang or your club or your dojo or your martial art there's someone who's better than me, you know, you're mistaken, but I don't blame you for thinking that, because everyone has the ego problem. You have to fight with your ego, you know. You have to see things for what they truly are, you know. There's a lot of cool people, a lot of good fighters, you know, a lot of gangsters that I have respect for. You know, the concept of being a gangster is a lowly concept, just like the concept of being an American soldier is a lowly concept. You're working for the enemy. You're taking advantage of the system, and you're taking advantage. Now you can shoot people, you can kill people, you can have combat, you can get respect, and the system has allowed you to do that. You're taking advantage of it. You're taking advantage of the opportunity. What exactly is the opportunity, and what are you doing? Among American soldiers, there's cool people. Hell, in the prison, I mean, the psych wards, the staff, the people who hold you down, some of them are pretty cool too. It doesn't mean that their job is not despicable. Now, again, I put in the comments in one of my other videos, I'm not saying anyone should quit their job per se. I'm saying do what you can, and if you consider yourself an extremely righteous man, not just someone who just is trying to establish themselves in society, but actually a transcendent hero, someone who transforms to suit the will of God, to fit the will of God, then by all means, quit your job and go to war with these people. However, I do mean the utmost disrespect to my enemies. The things I've heard from them are completely outlandish. I've heard the worst arguments I've heard in my life. Remember, I grew up debating with people. I was debating with people about religion and war when I was 11 years old. Adults, not knowing my age. To be like, what, you're 11? You know, because I'd be on American Online and Yahoo Chat later on. And, you know, so they're like, what, you're 11? Really? Yes, I'm 11 years old. You know? And I did Algebra 2 and Algebra in fucking, you know, pre-kindergarten, first grade. I remember my first grade teacher, Mrs. Sullivan. Oh, the blank boys, you know, my last name, boys. They're, you know, they're so smart. They can do, you know, advanced math when they're fucking, you know, but can they write? Because my writing was sloppy. Okay, so anyway, this is the society we live in, you know. Now I want to finish off about women because that was basically one of the main topics I wanted to talk about. It reminds me of the Young Jeezy song, Don't Let Them Down, you know, don't let the real niggas down. Well, women have let the real niggas down. And when I say real, I mean real. And I do mean real. Okay? The realest of brothers they've let down. Now, my attack on women, I want to make this absolutely clear. That's why I say this for the end, really. I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to make it absolutely clear. Aquarium, goldfish, and all. I got that from some movie anyway. It was an Ice-T movie or something. Anyway, I'll make this absolutely clear. Crystal fucking clear. That I am aiming my deepest insults at women, at feminists, Satanists, obviously, people who aren't devout religiously. Now, well, I'm going to get to that in a second. And among them and among other groups of women, the most attractive women my age specifically who are single are the biggest offenders of all. And then after that is the most attractive women my age who aren't single because at one point they were single and they could have been my high school sweetheart, ended up getting married, what have you. Okay? The most disrespect goes to them unless they have a man that I would approve of. You know? Another thing I'd like to bring up is it doesn't matter what the masses of people think about me. Or you, for that matter, for anyone else. Okay? They're a bunch of fucking idiots. The masses tend to be stupid. Let's face it. It's part of how the Illuminati recruits people and justifies to them abusing people. They're saying they're a bunch of dumb idiots anyway. It's like abusing a dog or something, you know, which is still bad, but it doesn't seem as bad to people who value intellect over everything else pretty much. So, yes. That's where my insults are directed at. Now let me go back to addressing the religious thing. Myself, I hold the principles of religion above all things. The most fundamental moral principles, precepts, concepts that are to be found in religion and the ideas, the cultures, the humanity that existed before that. This is the number one fucking thing. Excuse me, Lord. I'm trying to, you know, it's Ramadan. I'm trying not to swear. You know, just because I'm exempt from fasting because of them inducing illness in me. And I need my nutrients. And I'm fighting. And I'm at a critical phase. Allah would not want me to make myself weak for His sake in a critical phase of war as we wrap this up. He wants me to do the best job I can do. And part of how I honor Ramadan and I honor Allah is by following the rules closely. So for the sake of spirituality, I will try to limit my food consumption. I didn't go out, for instance, the last couple of days. I pretty much usually go out every day. I never missed 2 days. And today, the food I got was very minimum. So I'm doing what I can to honor Ramadan while realizing that I am exempt for a very good reason. You need to sustain the flesh when you're doing the will of Allah, even on Ramadan. That's why the exemption exists. It's like, don't die trying to fast. Don't let the serious harm come to your body because you were trying to fast. That goes against the whole point of Ramadan. And also, remember, I'm not an official Muslim. I may never be. But here's the kicker. That doesn't matter. In fact, I need to say this before I'm done, so I'm going to say it right now. I don't want anybody who considers themselves one of my followers to join any movement. There was times when I said, join Alex Jones's movement, because at least he's talking about the Illuminati. At least he's calling out these secret societies. I don't see many people doing it, and they're not doing it on a large scale, but I now think he's pretty much controlled opposition for the most part. I'm saying that plan your own battles with these people. Remember these two words I always say: surgical strikes. Remember those words. You know how I would apply them. You know the difference between blowing up fucking random people or low-level minions and striking them at their heart, cutting the snake off at its head. And when the Hydra goes another head, just keep cutting off their heads. Fatally wound them. If you see cutting off their head isn't working as well as you'd like, ask yourself why, and make sure you fatally wound the beast. So I don't put myself under the auspices, under the control of Christianity, Islam, any prison gang, any gang. When you do that, you're making a grave mistake, a spiritually fatal mistake, I would argue. I urge you all to consider the things that I've said to you. I've told you the truth to the best of my ability. Every now and then I get a minor key point wrong. Every now and then I misspeak. And that's what I meant in part one. When I say, so help me God, I've told you the truth. Because I've told you the truth, okay? And every once in a while I misspeak. Every once in a while I get something confused. But it's still the truth. The truth is what I'm saying, the underlying truth behind what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say. I've been telling you, I've been communicating to you the truth. Has my speech been full of errors? Yes. And not completely, at times have my speech been full of errors? Yes. See, that's just that perfect example. You see how I'm saying the truth, but then it's a slip of the tongue. But the communication was still there. The most insightful of you knew exactly what I meant. In fact, I would go as far as saying most of you knew what I meant. And it's the same thing all throughout my videos. If there's any small discrepancy, it's because I was meant to say something. Just like in my other video where I said that there was a boy that was hung in South Carolina, just like the shooting was in South Carolina. It turns out it was in North Carolina. But it's irrelevant because the shooter anyway, Roof, was headed to North Carolina. And Carolina used to be one. So ultimately it's the same kind of part of the country. What happened? If you think about it, there's some places in North Carolina that are closer to places in South Carolina because it's by the border, right? Than other places in North Carolina, which are further down, for example. So, anyway, I've said all these things. Yes, what should be done with women? I think that people should put them, people who aren't extremely spiritually advanced should put themselves in the control of religion so they can get there, And when they're there, they shouldn't find themselves contradicting the morality. They shouldn't then say, oh, well, homosexuality is cool or okay, and I'm going to keep everything else. They shouldn't find themselves doing that. What they should find themselves is doing, yes, I agree with everything Islam is saying, but I'm not going to listen to this imam. I'm not going to join this group. I'm going to do it by myself. And I want to end with this thought, it's about isolation. Okay? You're going to see satanic aspects and characteristics in every major movement because Satan controls it. His minions control it. Secret societies, satanic cults control them. So just because you see them everywhere doesn't mean you should say, well, it's everywhere. It doesn't mean that this movement is satanic. It is satanic, at least partially. If everyone's a liar, do you then say, well, everyone's lying, so this person isn't a liar. He's just like everyone else. No, they're all liars, including that person. And in this sort of a world, it is better to do what Thoreau did, do what Emerson did. Isolate yourself, transcend. I'm not saying fucking do what they did to a T. I mean in the aspect of as far as moving out away from society, as far as isolating yourself as much as you can. What gang stalking is about forcing you to integrate, and even on the highest levels, because when you join a secret society, which is one of the things they want you to do, if not die, but they want you dramatically on their side. They see a problem, they want to dramatically pull it back in, pull it into the center. This is their group, you got the center point, and you're starting to stray out, you're outside the group, they want to pull you all the way back to center. And there's nothing more in the center than being part of a secret society who's forcing other people to conform. Well, I'm out of time now, I guess this is it, Good luck. And shame on all you females for the betrayal. And shame on these satanic cults.